stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part 2 of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin. All right, we're going to begin this. Now this is from Jessica of Rebel Media. This was done on the 16th. Okay, guys, so this was done just a couple of days ago. And this was after Jessica's visit with Tommy Robinson. This is 4 parts. Each of these is just over 11 minutes long, so and we'll have a little bit of a comment after each. But here we go, guys. This is the first part. You're listening to the English Defense League radio show.
Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Schmidt-Sniewski here reporting for the Rebel. And as you can see, I'm in the back of a cab. I took a note out of Ezra's handbook, rushing to the airport to hopefully catch my flight. Because as you all know, yesterday's visit was canceled, so today I came back early in the morning to visit with Tommy, and first of all, he's doing well. The one thing that is a little alarming, and he is worried about as well, is that they are possibly going to be moving him because they want him in Loudoun, in court in Loudoun on September 3rd. And this isn't, he's not being trialed for anything, but they are trying to ban him from football matches. So on September 3rd, they are producing him in court in Loudoun, so they may be moving him, which isn't a good idea. I know he doesn't want to go. His solicitor said that he may have a say in the matter, choosing whether or not to go, but when you are produced to be somewhere in court, I believe they have the right to literally drag you out of, even if you're in a cell, drag you out and bring you to the courts. So that is a possibility of moving Tommy out of Belmarsh to Loudoun for that date on September 3rd. That is the one alarming thing. Of course, it's not a good idea to move him. He is safe where he is. He's in his contingency suite. And of course, I'm very sorry for the quality of this video. I know it's a little shaky. The internet, I know, goes in and out a little bit. So I do apologize for the roughness of this video. But I wanted to speak to all of you as soon as I could, as soon as I got out of the prison. So I went through the checklist. He is getting his 2 meals a day, plus all his cans of tuna that he enjoys because he is a picky eater. So he gets loads of tuna. He's eating. He's getting his visits from the prison governor daily. He's getting his checkups, his physical and psychological checkups every day. And one of the things, he's also getting his mail. He's slowly getting his mail since last week, so that's definitely good news. He's been getting piles and piles every day, because of course every single piece of mail the prison has to check. They have to check everything that comes through before handing it to Tommy, because we know what kind of attention and trouble Tommy attracts. So he is slowly getting his letters. He's getting piles every day. He has loads of books. I know some people were sending me private messages asking about specific books that they have been sending him. So he didn't give me any titles. He didn't know on the top of his head, but he said he has a library. He has a library in his cell. He did explain to me about the conditions there. The cell is quite small, but you know, it's all he really needs in prison. The bed he sleeps on is a concrete block with a thin, about this thick of like a cushion of a foam mattress that is on top of there, and he says he gets a blanket, but he doesn't use the blanket. He kind of sleeps, I believe, cross-armed like that, kind of vampire style. But overall, he is comfortable. So that is really, really good news. He's comfortable and he's eating. And when I saw him today, so this is my first visit with Tommy in prison, and he had a big smile on his face. And so that was really good to see. He seems like he's in good spirits, which is so important. And of course, all the letters and support that everyone is giving him is really, really helping him. He told me how grateful he is for all the support, and how amazing it is that even though he is stuck, he's in prison, his movement is not stopping. People are still so passionate, and this is probably, sending him to prison has probably made people even more passionate about the injustice and what's going on with free speech and freedom of press here in the UK, and the injustice of the government and the police here. He seems to have always 2 guards with him. His cell, they open up his cell at 9 a.m. where he gets to go out and exercise in the room next door. So the visiting cell that I was in was quite small, and there was a little window with bars, of course, and there was a little court right outside, and that's actually the little court area that he gets to go outside. When he doesn't get to see the sun, the walls are very, very high, and so even on a sunny day, if he is outside during the day, the sun doesn't even actually get to touch him. The sun doesn't actually reach that area of the courtyard that he gets to pretty much just like walk in circles. There isn't much to do, of course, but so he exercises, which is great. And he if anyone is curious, he's grown a beard, and his hair has gotten longer, so I think it looks great. I think it makes him look tougher. It's a good prison look. But he has said as the first thing he's doing when he gets out is, on the way home, stopping at the barber's. So first, of course, he's very excited to get out on, I believe it's the 15th of September. And so yeah, as soon as he gets out, he's going straight to the kids and to the wife, but on the way he'll be stopping at the barber. So he is doing well. The big, and trying to talk to him, I was trying to get a sense of how he's really feeling, because of course he's happy to see anyone that's visiting him. He had a big smile, his eyes were quite bright, he looked good, he looked healthy. He's been obviously doing a lot, he's been exercising a lot, so he has lost some weight, but seems in a healthy way, not like last time losing weight because he was starved. So I was trying to get a sense of how he's feeling. So one thing, I asked him how he's doing mentally and psychologically. He's getting his checkups, and what he said to me is, well, they come and they ask, well, how are you? He says, I'm fine, because he thinks he's fine. But the problem with that is he is isolated right now. Of course, he gets to see the nurse and the chaplain that comes in to visit him, so he does get human interaction. But last time he was in prison in Solidarity, he thought he was fine as well. He thought he was doing okay, and he didn't realize how much he psychologically suffered. He only realized that when he got out. So he only realized how he was really doing when he got out. So that's the one thing, I'm talking to him and he seems to be doing well. When you ask him how he's doing, he'll tell you he's doing fine. But that's exactly what he said last time when you would have asked him. He thought he was doing fine, and it was only after he realized he wasn't okay. After, of course, when he eventually got help with that, and we saw all the medications that he was put on after his last time in prison. Hopefully this won't be the case this time, and he seems to be, like I said, he seems to be doing well. He seems healthy. He gets his phone calls, so he gets to make phone calls in the mornings. He has, so from 9 until 11, he can be out of his cell. So his cell opens from 9 in the morning until 11. 11 he gets back into the cell. So during that time, he can exercise and pretty much make as many phone calls as he wants, which is good news. So the biggest alarm is what they're trying to do on September 3rd. They're trying to move him all the way to Luton for the court date on September 3rd to ban him from sporting events, from football events. Of course, we've heard the stories of, his past of being in fights and scuffles like that. His main point is that he never starts a fight. If somebody antagonizes him and they're following him, that's when he reacts. And so they're using this. I think part of it may be intimidation, making him scared of being moved. Of course, they would have pretty high security if and when they'll be moving him. His solicitors will be visiting him next week to go over to get more details about that. His solicitors also did tell him to. So with these visits, there's two types of visits. I think I went over this yesterday, but there is a social visit, which I was just at, and a legal visit. So the legal visit obviously is legal matters. It's usually lawyers, solicitors, things like that. And so his solicitors actually told him, make sure you don't accept any legal visits unless it's from them. And he actually did get a request for a legal visit, which wasn't his solicitors, so Tommy believes it was police. So that is a little alarming.
All right, guys, that's the first part of it. And welcome back to the English Defense League radio show. Jeff, your reaction.
Well, it was, once again, Jessica was telling how things was going. It was, I think the most unsettling thing is that we find that they want him to appear at, I think it's Luton's Magistrates Court, because they want to ban him from, because as you know, he comes from Luton, guys, and he loves his Luton football town, and they're trying to stop him going to a football match with his family. But the question that jumps out at me, with all the security involved in him, then wanting him to go to the magistrates, why can't they just do the video, a video call from the prison to the magistrates? So Tommy doesn't have to be dragged all the way down there. And there's a security issue involved in that as well, all the way to Luton magistrates, which his life could be in danger at any stage of that trip. Why can't they just, as they know, he's in a top security prison. He's, he's been segregated. If that's the case, he should have the same privileges as what anybody would if they don't want to appear at a magistrate's court, which is, it's rather pathetic, really. They couldn't hold back until he got out of prison, and then he could answer that, go to the court, the magistrates, when the time's called for. Well, why do they have to do it right now? It just makes it, to me, it's a bit of, just messing him about a bit. He doesn't want to go, so why can't he have a video, do a video thing to the court? Because we've known this with other people to do it, Dave. Tommy's a special character that they've got in the prison now. Why shouldn't they? If he doesn't feel that his safety, he feel unsecure with what they're doing. But then again, they can drag you out and take you to the courts. That's the only problem, guys. But that's my thought about it, Dave. You know, the way I look at it. So, you know, I was just thinking, why couldn't they just Tommy do a video thing of how we would plead or whatever, and why should he have to answer the charge? It's pathetic, really, isn't it? It's pathetic. That's the way I look at it, Dave. Why should he, you know, that puts all sort of, you know, you're trying to do your time. Got about a month, just under a month left, I think it is, Dave. I think it's about the 15th. 15th of September, I think, is his release date, guys. So just to let you know, I think it's round about that. And if I'm a few days out, my apologies. But it's got too long now. I mean, to Tommy, it's still a lifetime. Every day's a lifetime when you're banged up like that. But I'm so pleased to know that he's grown. Can you believe it, guys? He's grown a beard. I bet he looks all right, actually. I bet it suits him as well, Dave. Would you reckon?
Well, yeah, it's very likely. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of pathetic that while he's in prison there, wanting to take him to court for this minor thing. And yeah, I think you're right. I think this is part of an intimidation thing. They want him to be anticipating possible problems that might wind up keeping him in prison longer. You know, and as you say, I mean, there's a reason, folks, that this is Jeff's show. Because I was thinking, well, why couldn't they just put him in a van, take him to Luton, and deal with it, and then bring him back? But no, Jeff, you've got the easier solution. Why not just do it on video? And plus which, it would save the state money to do it that way.
A lot of money,
you know,
Dave.
Exactly. Yeah. It would save them on security and on a dozen other things. You know, so yeah, that really is what should happen. In fact, I hope he does suggest that, so that they can get that done. But Jeff, if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead right now and play the second part of this audio.
Yeah, I just want to say, Noddy's made a comment there. You know, about the security issue. He said, exactly, Jeff, it's a security issue. Yeah, that's it, Noddy. Thank you for that comment there, brother. Yeah, back to you, Dave. All
right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and play the second part of this. Again, all of these are just over 11 minutes long. And you are listening to Jessica of Rebel Media talking about her visit with Tommy Robinson on the 16th. And this is the English Defense League radio show. Here you go.
We don't know exactly what that legal visit would have been for, what the purpose was, but his solicitors made sure not to take any visits unless it's from them, and so they are, you know, keeping an eye on that and making it really strict of who can talk to him about legal matters. So that is the biggest issue. I'm trying to, like I said, if you're just joining me, I am in the back of the cab on the way to the airport trying to catch my flight. And so I apologize for the poor internet quality or the shakiness and the bumpiness of the video. I did pass on all of your warm messages to him. He was very happy to hear, and like I said, the movement around him is amazing, and he feels very good about it, and it's really helping him. He said that he can, he's actually starting to he's been putting pictures and letters up on his cell wall, and using toothpaste. So that is a prison hack. If you ever end up there, you can use toothpaste to stick things on the wall. So I'm giggling. I'm trying to make light about light of the situation. But he has that. So he has a bunch of pictures and letters up on his wall using toothpaste that he's stuck on. He said that he can 100% he can cover all of the walls, floor to ceiling, which are, he did say like the ceilings are quite high actually in his cell, so it doesn't feel as cramped as you would think. But yeah, he said that if he can definitely cover the walls, floor to ceiling, with all the letters and pictures and things like that that everyone has been sending. So he's been getting a lot of support. He's slowly getting his letters. Of course, he, like I said, the officers at the prison do have to go through each and every single letter to make sure there's, of course, no contraband, and even worse, no no poison, no anthrax. So he was dressed in his own clothes, which is pretty amusing. He, for the first time, so I asked him because I noticed he was wearing, I forget that brand, that English brand that all the football guys wear. His favorite brand, I forget the name of it. Stone something? Who can remember? Leave it in the comments if you know which brand I'm talking about. And so when he showed up, so I saw he was wearing a t-shirt, black t-shirt, dark jeans, and some regular shoes. And so he actually, for the first time in his life, learned how to use a washing machine, because of course, like I asked him, I was like, so who washes your clothes? Like, do you get to wash them, or are they, do you just come in with what you have and deal with it? So he said that there is a washing machine, right? So his suite has his cell, the exercise room, Stone Island. There we go. Thank you so much. Stone Island is the t-shirt he was wearing. And there's also a little laundry area in his suite. Sounds much nicer than it is. It's all concrete and no open windows, all bars on the windows, of course. And so he actually, the first time he had to do laundry, he just looked at the machine and didn't know what to do. Luckily, there was a female guard there to walk him through it. Sorry, I think the internet is cutting out. I'm just gonna wait a moment. I think I'm still connected, I hope. But so he's been doing his own laundry, so he's learning even while he's in prison, although he said he is shrinking everything he owns there, so all his workout shirts are even tighter than before. He did mention, I asked him about Julian Assange, and he said he hasn't spoken to him since probably the first time. So he's not really communicating that much with him. There are rumors around the prison that the guards say that Julian is a bit of a prick. I don't know, Tommy didn't really have an opinion on it. Of course, it's just hard to communicate with anybody through the cells, but so he hasn't had much communication with him. Another person that shares that area, not the suite, but in that one area, he started speaking to a little bit, and it actually turns out that person, since he has stopped communication with that prisoner, the prisoner that is, I believe, doing life for raping and murdering a 16-year-old girl. So that is the prison that he's in. He's in a criminal high security prison with I believe it's around 1.2% of civil prisoners. So that's where he is. Those are the types of criminals there. And I did mention yesterday that Fridays aren't normal social visits. And being there today, there were quite a few people waiting in the visitors area. So I actually asked Tommy about it, and it turns out that Fridays are actually pedophile day. That's when all the visitors come to see prisoners that are there for pedophilia. So I don't know if that's irony or not that I ended up visiting him on this Friday, and that's why they made the exception. So the exception was they separate those prisoners and even the visiting time for pedophile prisoners for Friday mornings. And so that's why the governor made it an exception for me to come in, because of course we all know Tommy is a civil prisoner. And so yeah, that's why it wasn't normal for to have visits on Friday morning, because Friday mornings are pedophile day. So, like I said, this prison, Belmarsh Prison, has around 1.2% of civil prisoners, and the rest are, murderers and rapists and pedophiles, things like that. So that's the prison that they sent him to. Even when Tommy was talking to some of the guards, they said, like, why am I here? And they said, well, you were at the Old Bailey. And he said, but why was I at the Old Bailey? So, of course, we all know, like, the Old Bailey is the criminal court. Civil matters don't go through there. Contempt of court cases don't go through there. But, of course, this is not an average case. And, again, I see the internet is quite bad right now. I apologize. I just wanted to speak to everyone as soon as I could, because I know everyone's waiting to hear about how Tommy's doing, and also I wanted to have it fresh in my mind. If you guys have any questions, just type it up in the comments. And, okay, you're right. In Canada, I feel like it's not that big of a deal in the background, in the backseat of the car. I'm trying to think of what else. So Tommy's wife, the day before, made us a quick list of snacks that he likes to eat. So when you finally get into, so like Ezra mentioned, the security is super, super high. They take your fingerprints. So you come in, you leave all your stuff in the locker. They have a strict dress code. I was able to just leave my necklace, the two here, so that was minimal. I didn't wear anything else because I didn't want to bother with it. So you leave all your stuff in the lockers, you get your fingerprints done, we had a guide, so I went in with a man named Peter. I'm not going to say his last name because I'm not sure if he's out in the public that much. So I did go in with a chaperone. He stayed behind to stay with Tommy. I had to leave early, unfortunately, but we did have a guard with us. And finally, there's all these, so many, heavy doors. You have to wait for somebody to open everything. When you go through a certain entrances, there's a small entrance and two doors, so you have to make sure you close both doors before going into the next room. You get your fingerprints done. You're in the waiting area. So we were in the waiting area with with several other people. And when the visiting started, all the people went into one way, and I assumed I was going that way as well, but we actually went the complete opposite direction. So like I said, on Friday mornings, the prison visits are for the pedophile.
And that is it for this time. Next time, part 3. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics,
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
and all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events? All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.